Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. We're going to be looking at Plug Power. I just finished the video on NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks fantastic. You should watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. But Plug Power, let's see what we have here. Plug is always an interesting one because it's one of those small caps that really just can't. Like, it has great days. People have been trading Plug. I remember, I think I traded Plug back in like 2013 with like Tim Sykes. You know what I mean? Like, Plug has been around. They've been selling fuel cells, and I don't know what they sell, but they've got some opportunities in I think fuel cell markets or like energy markets or whatever they do. And when you see it, it is indicative of when the market's about to go fully bullish. I just want to admit that before I even get into the in-depth like review of it. But like if I see what we have today, we're up nearly 20%. I mean, it's under $5. We're up 38% in 5 days. So there's a lot of you watching this because you guys are pumped. Like if you caught this within the past 3 months, you're 54%. Wild. Yeah, plug is back, boys and girls. Look at that. I need to look at this. I honestly need to go straight to the chart because I want to see it on the longer term. I want to see it on the weekly because this type of move is really, yeah, if you break out above, I mean, because you can definitely see like what's been going on here. If I look at the weekly data, which I think is even going to be more indicative of what's going on in plug, what I love is that you've got a 5 month breakout. The reason why is because a 5 month breakout is a very important move in a longer term trend, especially if you're thinking about a potential bottoming and or reversal. So if we look here, and this is the weekly data, so this is I normally wouldn't look at this, especially for a stock that is this like it's $3. You know what I mean? It's not this isn't a useful. You shouldn't put your 401k in this, but I'm sure some of you will, your IRA or whatever. But like this move is significant. The move where you got a buy signal on the 27th of December for plug at 227 or whatever, that was a significant move. These 15-week changes, along with the 5 week change, really do contribute to this buy signal. Like that, the big bull, I'm sure there's going to be on the I would like to see this, like the rolling sentiment, be a little bit more positive. But if I'm going to be honest around what I see here, let's just take a quick look. The volatility, the thing I'll say, and if you watch my video, I hope that you at least appreciate this. The volatility that I see in plug power on the weekly looks incredible because you're getting a complete reversal down where it's going to be at its own spike. And in the previous video, in NVIDIA video, I talked about how the most bullish thing that you can see in terms of volatility and price is when you get something like this where the volatility bottoms, the correlation is negative and then it goes positive. And like this was kind of doing that, but if you watch the NVIDIA video, I speak very specifically about it and can highlight it in NVIDIA. What I'm seeing here in Plug is that you're seeing that kind of a setup. I don't see any of the actual data that says that it's going to work because you see the same thing. So if you look on the weekly volatility here, you see how it's at the bottom and then this is negative as well. That's the same setup that you have on the daily. And that's a compounding thing to me. Like that would be perfect. You need a few more days, maybe even a little bit. Like this is nearly like a month or two. Like it's like a month of being negative before it really starts to rise. And the type of volume or that you're going to need to see in volatility for the weekly to expand the way that you want it to, because you need a big explosion and then the correlation to go positive. You're going to really want to. You're probably gonna have some time. There's probably gonna be some. There's gonna be some prices back in that blue. At some point, which means it's two standard deviations below its mean, which is interesting. But like, let me look at, can I get plugin? So if you've ever watched any of my other videos, one of the things that I appreciate about Google is they give everything for free. So you can build this model just the same as I could build the model. We all can build the model. The thing that I've been able to do that I do appreciate is now I have the ability to build something for myself and for you that we can essentially look at something very similar. Like you see the pricing in terms of being 315 and the way that this model looks on the daily data, in terms of the bullishness and like where it is for the trade level and the higher lows. These are really the more important signals than even the whole model. I mean, I point that out just because someday this is going to break. I know that Google's not going to like Google's falling on some hard times. They got to compete in the chat and the search space now. So they're going to be giving up some of those free things that they've been giving out to us for decades. But if we look at back to plug power, if we look at plug looks it honestly it just looks like a penny stock, and that's the hardest part about it. It being a penny stock is the hardest thing to even pay attention to because I can't tell if it's serious. I can't tell if I need to pay attention to this. I can't tell if I would actually want to put real significant money into it in terms of a small position because when you look at it even on the weekly here on this like long trade range, I mean, you're not convinced because you've just been in so many other places. Like maybe you get to $40, but I feel for those bros who are watching this who are at $44 or 40 or 30 or 20 or even hell 15 at this point. But I do think that there's an opportunity. You're probably going to want to pay attention to the ranges. I think the range is the biggest thing you're going to want to pay attention to. Let me see here. You're going to want the range to continue to rip higher, but it's not just yet. The top of the range will definitely need to rip higher. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? Before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. I am getting back in my business. We are sending you 20 stocks every single Sunday. Stocks between $5 and $10 or $20 breaking out. Stocks breaking out to 1 year highs. Stocks breaking out to all-time highs. I like being able to just look at the breakouts because it tells you really everything about the market. So even if you don't need the ideas, which I don't use every single one of them that I find, it just gives you a good purview of what is going on in the market, and you can do it once a week. Takes like 20 minutes. Give you something to do on Sunday. I don't know. Talk to you soon.